Hey everyone, it's a 2015 150 Prado and it's here for an inspection, and we've found a couple of things that everybody probably needs to keep a bit of a lookout for. Who can tell me the most obvious thing? What's missing here on a Prado? Tell me if you knew before I told you. Put in the comments, say, hey, yeah, I knew what it was. I watch enough videos. The cover over the cover is missing, is what I'm talking at the moment. The big main number one thing. So on the Hiluxes, you got your valve cover. On the Prado, you've got the valve cover, and it is different. It fits the same, but it's got a couple of different fittings on it. But the Prado's got a cover over the cover, which you certainly want there because it helps keep things quieter because it's a luxury vehicle. And it also helps secure this wiring loom, where this is normally plugged into the wiring loom, and there's another one a bit further down, see underneath here, that black one right in the middle of the picture. That one and this brown one both clip into the valve cover. So you've basically got the wiring loom banging around up and down, pulling on the injector wiring because there's nothing securing it, constantly going like that. So that's a bit of an issue. Another issue on the old 1KZ engine, this wiring loom with the corrugated split tubing used to rub into the valve cover when it wasn't fitted up properly, and similar things happening there. It's going to really start wearing into that. This is a fairly new thing. The story goes, what was it? This is done 250k now, and it was 220k when the injectors were replaced, yeah? So yeah, about 220k, the injectors may have been replaced. First problem is we don't know how old they are, so we don't know if it was done or not. So unfortunately, they're gonna need to be removed to work out if they have been replaced, but they might have been, which is good. And the fuel pipes look like they haven't been because you can see the corrosion on the outside of them. So valve cover over the cover missing. Now, I don't know if there was a catch can or something, because there's like a catch can type hose. You can see this clamp's quite loose compared to the normal factory setup. And it does go down, there's no catch can now, it goes down straight to the turbo, right? But what I'd be doing is purchasing the parts to replace any catch can or this hose to bring it back to original parts. I'll show you those part numbers. That's the part number for the pipe on the 120 or 150 Prado, 1KD, Hilux, I think they're all the same. Could be wrong. The rubber that goes at the bottom of the pipe to the turbo, and there's the part number for that one. Part number is 91671808814. The last part of the jigsaw puzzle is the rubber bend hose at the top of the pipe to the valve cover. That's the part number, and bada bing, bada boom, no clamps needed, and it doesn't leak. Just put that gear on and be happy. What else we got? So yeah, get rid of that, get the cover over the cover. Over this side, everything looks pretty good. There is actually a clip that's, you can't buy actually, I tried to buy it, and it goes actually in that hole down there to hold this wiring loom. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. But it's a bit pulled out of the way, and there's some zip ties, but this clip there, which you can't buy separately. If anyone can come up with the accurate part number for that clip, let me know, and we'll make a record of that, put it in the comments. But that's actually meant to be clipped in that hole up there to secure this whole wiring loom. And apparently Toyota reckon you can buy the clip, but they couldn't figure it out for the life of them, and they sent a thing off to Toyota, and Toyota couldn't figure it. It was all too hard. So if anyone can figure it out, you've done well, let us know. It's got a dual battery, make sure it's all well secured is the only thing that, oh, the coolant. So it's got aftermarket coolant in there. To me, hey everybody, put it in the comments. How does that look compared to the genuine coolant? I'm not going to say anything. You just tell me, how does that look compared to the genuine coolant? I'll be looking at the comments. You're going to look at the comments, see what they say? Yeah, that's it. So battery over here, not bad. It's got the corrugated split tubing. We can see an issue here. We warn people with these radiators, don't lean on that whatever you do. A lot of people have done different repairs similar to this. There's quite a bit of meat left in the radiator here. It's just, there's not much left of this barb when it breaks off. There's, like a few millimeters at the end. You've got little tabs at the side. People have done different things. This looks all right for now. It's not going to have a massive amount of pressure kind of in the small area. Hard to explain. Might be okay. But if it was me, I wouldn't trust it. I'll put a new radiator in it. It's 10 years old. Just give it the love anyway. Good news is radiator's only about $600, 500-600 somewhere there. So it's not too bad. Bit of work to change it. But I'd be doing the radiator, I'd be doing the BFE because it's 250k, and I just want to freshen up the whole thing, get the new thermostat in there, and get all this belts, bearings, everything done. It was probably done at, what, 150? Might be in the service book, it probably was done. Was it done with genuine? There's no sticker, it could have blown off, or maybe they didn't install it. This was an ex-police car, Tassie Cop car, they'll be spewing they sold it because they'll be stuck with 250s now. I reckon we can say that because there's probably no 250 owners watching this far into a video. So we'll get away with that. If you got a 250 and you're watching this video, let us know in the comments. I'm looking at the comments on this one. Battery, make sure it's secure. What else have I seen? I haven't seen too much else other than the injectors might have been replaced and the pipes weren't. So I'm kind of going, well, is that going to be okay or not? Let's not talk about it too much in this video. Under here, extra fuel filter. At least this one is secured to the body of the vehicle. The last one that I looked at, you know, the extra bracket is hanging down here and there's a lot of, you know, weight hanging off this mounting bracket, which can crack the guard eventually. But so this one, at least it's mounted to the guard. It's quite solid. You don't need it, but it's there. So that's all right. Just beware, they can cause problems with starting and stalling. So if you do have any of those issues, just bypass this and eliminate those issues. Eliminate it to see if it is the issue. You might just need to change your filter more regularly, whatever. So everything else, I can smell coolant. It's probably to do with this leak and maybe it hasn't been fully cleaned up properly yet because I can certainly smell coolant. I reckon this got cleaned up today. A bit of cleaning today, a bit of water, yeah. And there might be a bit of excess coolant down there somewhere still. But everything under here looks like a legit 2014, 15, something like that Prado. Just those few things we spoke about, but let's put up on the hoist, have a bit of a look around underneath and see if we can see anything else at 250k. All right, let's go from the back to the front underneath this one. It's got an aftermarket exhaust, which is kind of cool, sounds cool, but it could affect the turbo longevity. Needs a new sump plug. That one's a little bit butchered up, so just order one from Toyota Parts and replace that on the next diff oil change. Be prepared. Looks like a brake fluid change. I would be ordering the little dust caps for the bleeder nipples and more water to rinse off any brake fluid. There's a little bit of a oil stain at the back of the wheel bearing there. See what I mean? So this wet area there. So that could be a sign that either brake fluid could have dripped there or it could be a little bit of wheel bearing starting to leak. You got the same over this side, mirror image. See that dark spot in the middle there? So kind of needs a really good cleanup. 250k. Bit, you know, it could be those seals starting to leak. And remember, we've been talking a bit about these ABS sensor O-rings that need to be replaced. Perfect demonstration of how the mud, water and dirt and everything hits those directly, and any mud and water that goes in there is going to get to your bearing and affect that, and then rust, and then bits of rust, and that could affect your seal, and one thing leads to another. So just remember the old mud equals money. Keep it clean if you can, but then you've got to use it too. So you got to do what you got to do, right? That's what it's for. So that pretty well covers at the back there. Keep an eye on that. Sweat, wash the brake fluid, some new caps, a new sump plug, bit more cleaning because there's a bit of dirt around. Big muffler makes it difficult to get to this fuel filter. It's a bit tight, kind of need to work from the back a little bit. When the car's on the ground, it's going to be even harder because that prop shaft's going to be right up next to the muffler. So a bit problematic with that, but that's all right. Tyres look pretty good. It's got some Wild Peaks on there. It's got some EFS suspension. See how that goes. Rear trailing arms, upper and lower, all look pretty good like usual. Fuel tank hasn't been bashed around too much yet. Transfer case is dry. It all looks pretty reasonable under here, just like a 250k Prado. I don't see any issues. Now this bash plate could hold a lot of sand and stuff if you do beach driving. You turn full lock and it throws it all this way, and it sort of just piles straight onto in here, which is looking all right at the moment. At least it hasn't got edges on it, so it won't sort of, it'll be easy to wash it out. Transmission pan looks all original, I think. It's got a little bit of a line of, maybe that's been tightened up at some stage. Somebody's had a tool. Did you tighten up the pan by any chance? No? I reckon somebody's maybe tightened up the pan because it's just looking a little bit, or maybe it has been, someone's had it off. Hard to tell at the moment. I wasn't prepared to. Yeah, no, it's got a cork gasket and some seal in it, so the pan has been off. You can tell looking at the bolts, looks like there's been a socket on there, so that's all right. It's been off once, which is not bad. It's got some heavy duty side step rock sliders, whatever. I've got no issue with that. That's good. You need that for a bit of protection sometimes. Transmission's otherwise dry. A little bit of a sweat at the bottom there, but I'm not too worried about that. Could be just something from this prop shaft here as well. throwing some, see how the, you know, so it's all wet all the way up there. That's the grease throwing off this prop shaft, sort of underneath at the bottom as well. So next time you got the bash plate off, you can actually take those bolts out and pull that bit of foam out. It's a bit of a fiddly one. Pull it out, clean it, make sure you put it back. It needs to be there to seal everything up. Bit of oil coming down from the EGR valve, but not a big deal. Wouldn't be too worried about that. But it could do with some investigation with an injector job, depending whether it's already been done or not. It could be related to an oil change, but there's a lot of oil there, needs degreaser and cleaning, in my opinion. Lower bushes, the usual sort of thing. See a bit of twisting on the front ones and a little bit of splits starting on the rear one. It'll be the same on each side, whatever, you know how it works. It's always a mirror image just based on averages. Looking pretty good. They don't need replacement anytime soon. Wheel bearings, all right at the moment, and there's no play in them, but 250k, in my opinion, replace at every 200,000. The normal bit of a sweat on the bottom of the rack boot, nothing to worry about. Checked all the drive shafts. They're all pretty standard. Nothing to see here. Upper, lower control arms, everything's good. Little bit of a sweat maybe at the O-ring on the crank seal on the front of the engine because there's a bit of oilish sort of colour. See the dark on the sump there, but it's not a leak, it's not a drip anywhere. Could be something from further up, could be people oil changes, spilling oil. So it just needs a really good clean up to whatever. There's no drips or oil leaks, really. Around here, yeah, same. You can just see in there what I'm talking about. A little bit of, you know, a bit of just sort of, what is it? A sweat, we call it. And this boot on this rack boot hasn't got a sweat on it. And this drive shaft's all right as well. Let's have a look at the turbo. Bone dry. Yep, there it is. Last to the best, bone dry, beautiful. And once again, a bit more water after the brake fluid bleeding and stuff like that. And these rubbers, they all seem to be a little bit flogged. So 4 new rubbers, because see, they're just sort of, they're not doing anything anyway. You might as well throw those ones away. They're just sort of half sitting there. But just order 4 new ones. Beautiful. And I guess there's nothing else to see here. That's about it. Catch you in the next video.